Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanfiction. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Doom Patrol Season 3, Episode 10, the season finale of Season 3, Episode 10, Amends Patrol. Welcome, everybody. I was just looking at my video and it looked a little slow at the beginning there, so I was just trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm trying to figure out what my dog is doing at the moment, too. So sorry, she was just doing something kind of strange. That's all. Yeah. Sorry, God. I thought she was gonna throw up for a second. That's why. She had that look on her face. That's all. All right. So let me take care of some business first after that, and then we'll get started. So if you like what you see here, including this talk about dog vomit, uh like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you don't want to be notified, best thing to do is hit that bell down below. It's a 50, no, not even 50-50 chance. It's a 100% chance that YouTube won't notify you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages on there as well. So let's get started, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section, giving you enough time to pause and stop it or whatever you need to do. And all right. So yeah, this season was not the best season, you know, out of the 3 seasons that we've had, and it still wasn't bad. So, I mean, uh, as Amends Patrol says, I mean, I actually have been saying this all season. They were gonna get together, become a team, a full-fledged team at this point, and really, Rita is the only one that, by the end of this, who is in the position in order to be a part of a superhero team. And of course, she's the one that's leading all of this. But I kind of digress here. I'm skipping ahead quite a bit. So yeah, we have a confrontation with Madame Rouge, and Monsieur Mallah basically just tells her, he's like, you know what, I've been out here all night looking at you. And he goes, "That's it. I'm done with evil." He goes, I'm done." He goes, "We were happy here in Boca Raton. We were at the end of the cycle kind of thing, and you had to bring the body into him. You had to bring him Robot Man's body so that the cycle of evil starts all over again." And yeah, he basically says, "Yeah, you're evil. You're just." And this is where we dump all of our our evil throw offs, as he puts it. And it's some little valley out in the middle of nowhere that he's got her strapped to a gurney with Cliff's brain. And she realizes as we go along here that yes, she has gone down the wrong path for not maybe the best of reasons, and wants to make amends at this point. Cliff, in the meantime, he gets his brain put into the giant robot that we saw in season 1, where we had the Groundhog Day, where they kept getting killed over and over and over again by the giant red robot. Well, that giant red robot is what Cliff gets his brain put into, and he's able to take it over. Um, after, of course, Madame Rouge steps on Cliff's old robot body, which is, of course, is housing the brain at this point. Yeah, and Rita actually ends up going pretty dark at some point there, and she kills the brain in Robot Man's body, or Cliff's body, Cliff's original body made by Niles, by Niles Calder, and she basically boils his brain to death and kills him, which is probably the darkest thing any of these characters has done, up until this point. Um, and Larry, realizes that, well, he gets told that if he doesn't accept the space parasite into him, doesn't let love in, if you will, that it's going to die. And we also find that the space parasite has a name of Keeg Bovo. So Keeg Bovo is actually created recently, fairly recently, in Doom Patrol comics by Gerard Way, who of course did Umbrella Academy. He's also one of the singers in a small little band that you probably never heard of, My Chemical Romance. Um, is it My Chemical Romance? I believe that's what it is. So yeah, there's all this stuff going on, and Vic, who doesn't have any powers now at this point, actually helps Larry out because, of course, Keeg can't get through the bandages that Larry has on. So he decides to carry Keeg as they get transported back to Doom Manor by the fog. And the fog happens to be housing all the personalities that were missing from Kay's from the underground and where Kay was. So yeah, and they were all crumbling because of course something happened in the underground where the underground collapsed and shit is happening and people are, the personalities are going to die. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of amends that need to be happening. Um Cliff brings back everyone's stuff that he's sold. Which Cliff, I have to admit, is the worst at amends. He really is. He sucks no matter what he does. Even when he's trying to do good, he fucks it up in some strange way. And even Clara, when he's trying to apologize to Clara, and um, he's fucking up that too. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's got the cops after him. I did love the whole Twitter thing, giant robot out of Florida. Yeah, I figured it'd be coming out of Florida kind of thing. I love all of that. Um, and of course, Rita at one point is, or actually, I should say, Madame Rouge is thinking about going back in time and correcting all of this. But Shipley, which is the ship's name, by the way, is Shipley, the time travel ship who is talking, is basically telling her that's going to be futile. You're not going to remember it anyway. And so she ends up, of course, going to do Manor and wiping out her mind anyway. Yes, now you're breaking my vinyl, motherfucker. Is what she says, which I loved. Um, and so yeah, the brain is dead. Monsieur Marla is gone. The Brotherhood of Evil is essentially disbanded at this point. Uh, Madame Rouge now has her mind wiped, but wants to do better. She knows that she's evil because of the note that she pinned on herself. And Rita is leading the team. Larry now has a new traveler within him, so he's a new negative man. Vic is human now, essentially. He's got the synthetic skin on, and Cliff is inside a gigantic robot body. And Jane has made a deal with Dr. Harrison to get all the personalities back into the underground to help clear a path. And when she gets back down there, she can't find any of the personalities. They've gotten through, but none of the personalities are there other than Dr. Harrison. And she says, "You made a deal," and they sit down to whatever deal that is. But we found out earlier through Hammerhead that she might have given up control as primary, which we don't know if she can actually do that. So one of the things that wasn't covered was the zombie werebutt that went into Cloverton. We don't know what happened to that thing. Yeah. So that was kind of a weird thing that hasn't been discussed this season. We know a season 4 is coming, of course. We already know they've been greenlit for a season 4, so that's great. None of this waiting around bullshit trying to figure out whether or not they're going to get a season 4 or not. We don't know what's going to go on with Jane at this point. Cliff, if he's going to get a robot body or not, again, because remember, he sold the blueprints to the body for his body to the brain, and the brain had those. So I'm wondering if Rita has those now. And they are going to go fight a scrotum creature that popped up out of the, out of a river near a little ways away. And they use the time travel machine. They all went. And that was the picture I was actually trying to get initially, was all of them with their names. Uh, masking tape to their forehead. But the best picture I got was out of Rita doing that as well. Yeah, the upper body of Cliff is mostly still intact. You're right, CBM. You're right. Uh, the Suez Canal. Thank you, Philip. Yes, they're over in the Suez Canal is where they were going. So, yeah, we're gonna see what happens with season 4 here. Uh, Cheryl Lero says, "Sorry for being late. Happy to see Michelle Gomez will be part of the group. She played a great villain in Doctor." Yeah, she's one of my favorites from the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I liked her in that. She actually did a great job as Lilith. Um, and I missed the whereabouts as well, Philip. Yes. Penn says, "For a second, I thought the giant balls were some weird offshoot of the butts." I thought that too. I thought it was actually they were going back to the zombie werebutt and it had mutated and became big and was now in the Suez Canal. But no, it turns out to be a scrotum creature with tentacles. So, and then of course Cliff wants to call them the Doom Zone or something like that. And yeah, they're like, no. And of course, they're called the Doom Patrol, the Doom Patrol, or behind me, the Doom Patrol. It was very wrong. I agree with you, Penn. Doom Force. There we go. Doom Force. Doom Force. No. Yeah. Philip says, now we know how the ship really got stuck in the Suez Canal. Oh, man. What do you want? I watched it at like 5 o'clock this morning. So I'm lucky I remember my name half the time. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, we got through some stuff. They set up some stuff for season 4, not a lot. And also we leave the door open for Jane to go back and find the fog, Shelley Byron. And they look like they were having a little moment together there. So who knows what'll happen there. We know that um as long as K is okay and the underground is okay, the personalities can live within the fog and travel through the fog. So what if Jane decides to leave K at that point? Maybe that's what the whole deal was, is that she ends up leaving the underground completely and leaves it to Dr. Harrison, which is a possibility. So yeah, that's gonna suck. Doom Force now with Lee-Field pockets. Yeah, exactly. So, and I just have to say, I love this shirt, by the way, that I just got. So it's my Robot Man Doom Patrol shirt that I just had to pick up. So, and it's from the comic. So good stuff. Looking forward to a season 4. And again, like I said, it was the whole um finding out who you are kind of thing, rebelling against what happened in season 2, and kind of fighting back a bit, and also going into some depression and stuff like that. And then the third season kind of coming to terms with what you are, and doing something good for the betterment of mankind is what we've got going on there. And uh yeah, that's exactly what this whole series is about, I guess you could say. It just kind of goes, and this is probably one of those weird examples of really putting together I guess you could say it's a detailed putting together of a superhero team almost psychologically. Titans, on the other hand, tries doing this, and or tried doing something similar to this, but failed because they had some really shitty writers, and who just didn't care anything at all about the source material or anything like that. Whereas this is all taken from source material, and uh, we have a good we have stories that are actually being put upon the bones of the psychology on it of it. I don't want to read too much into it, but you know what I'm talking about there. And I just read something interesting earlier that well, I don't know how true this is, but supposedly that, remember the Dead Boy Detective Agency that was in episode 3. They're going to be their own series, of course, and now I just read something that said HBO Max is looking at recasting everybody on all that. So I kind of take that with a huge grain of salt because it came from a source that is 50% wrong most of the time. So yeah. And also, I really don't think they're going to toss out Tennant's son out of there just because of the name alone. I mean, nepotism goes a long way. So, what else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow I'm off. Saturday is Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Sunday I'm off. Monday will be another episode of Spoiler Alert, where we get to talk about anything and everything as long as it's out in the public and you want to talk spoilers about it, we'll talk about it. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, I think I am going to do that. God, now I'm blanking on it. It's an animated series that is on Netflix. I'll put it in the, on my schedule. You'll see it there. It's based on a video game, and I'm blanking on it at the moment. And then Wednesday, I think I'm going to end up doing a couple episodes of Hit Monkey. I don't know. I know they're dropping the entire season all at once. I might just wait and do that as a is it worth my time for the next Tuesday. We'll see what happens with that. So I've got it. You know what? I actually did kind of map things out in my book over here. So let's see what I actually said for next week. Since next week is kind of weird. Yes, I had left Wednesday open. I'm doing Hit Monkey as a Is It Worth My Time on the 22nd. That's what I'm doing. There we go. And the Wheel of Time is actually on the 19th. And so is Ghostbusters Afterlife and quite a few other things. So we'll see what happens. And yes, CBM, I agree with you. I loved all the callbacks to previous episodes of both seasons, honestly. And also I have to admit, I love the whole swagger with the brain in Robot Man and Cliff's body when he's the morning after with the widow and he gets out there and he's like, "Hey ladies," and all that stuff. And then, "Gary, you dog," kind of thing. And the old dude who's coming out kissing some widow as well. Penn says, "I'm hoping Wheel of Time is good." You and me both. Well, I don't see. I've said this before on my podcast here. Jordan's books littered, literally littered every single bookstore sci-fi section for decades. I mean, decades. I remember going to the bookstore and just seeing shelves upon shelves of Jordan's books, and I'm just like, I never picked one up just because there were too many of them, and I was just like, I don't even know where to start on, and it just seemed kind of generic, quite honestly. So I'm going to the Wheel of Time without any preconceived notions or anything like that. I know nothing about it, other than it's one of those things where uh, a savior is born to help, of course, right some kind of thing that is going to destroy everything, and blah 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 blah. Wash, rinse, repeat. So Penn says, "I'm never going to take the time to read all the books, so I'd rather just see a good film version." Well, you get a series version now at this point. Yeah. And then, of course, we're gonna have Hawkeye come out as well, Thanksgiving week. So I mean, there's a lot of shit coming up. There really is. So All right. So with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you don't want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you get that bell down below. It's a 100% chance that YouTube will never notify you. So best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. All the links to my social media are there. All the links to my pages are there as well. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have to have your brain put back into a giant robot because that's the only way to keep you alive. And you end up taking over the giant robot's body. But you realize that you kind of messed up a whole bunch of things. So you need to make amends by getting all the stuff back of the friend stuff that you sold in order to play online poker, cam girls, and video games. That's what it was. Yes. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Get those shots, hit those flu shots as well, and wear those masks and stay safe out there. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you again on Saturday.